Business, business. Business, business.
Earnings up 7.2%.
Business, business. Long-term growth, increase in rent, potential inflationary increment.
Registered securities, money spent, compatible diversified options lent.
Business, business. Corporate profits,
Fiscal dates,
mutual funds,
interest rates.
business, business. Industrials up,
Inflation wanes,
most active stocks,
capital gains.
year-end tax selling option range, love. Potential capital investment, beauty,
Index ratio declined.
joy.
Brotherhood?
Option
All right,
mark
Johnny,
puppet.
Catherine,
Yes.
we saw these puppets being built in New York, and actually they had solved the light bulb problem, but they had
Yes.
not yet figured out the slot machine eyes.
Yes.
And I'm dying to see how it looks fantastic.
It's such a simple idea because they're just basically, right, like balls on a rod that can spin.
Yes, and the other trick is there are actually two pupils. What? So that way it looks twice
It looks like they're
as
spinning
fast.
faster.
Yeah. And then some brilliant person had the idea to put this on a slider so that, it's a nice, smooth move.
Yeah.
And that you have a little bit of a guarantee of where it's going to land. And then
Wow.
it tends to land right there. That usually is like a good place to go. But there's a little bit of trickery to it. But yeah.
As soon as I watched it on stage that they hit the center every time, I was like, oh, that's really, I can imagine that ruining someone's day.
Yeah, a couple of times when you're learning it, definitely for sure, you think it's center, and then you realize the puppet's like that. And you're like, and you see them slowly push it back to, yeah. It's easy to get it wrong, but you do kind of learn like a muscle memory to it.
Well, so then within this show, if the eyes land in a weird place, do you go in a different direction?
Well, this character is so weird, like
Yeah,
his like weird voice, and and he's doing this angry bounce. I think there's more forgiveness for it. So yeah, you can almost like make it a thing that he's like, and just resets however he needs to.
So in this performance, you
Yes.
guys are not just lip syncing to original material. You're also puppeteering, you're also activating, and I mean, I will get to the fire extinguisher. You're doing you're normally doing like 6 things at once. It seems like you're
Right.
doing 10 things at once.
It feels like, there's no room for error on this piece because, to your point, it's on a track.
Right.
So once you press play, it's going, and good luck, everyone. And then, you have light bulbs that if they don't work, then the ding effect is a little less, exciting. And then if this gets stuck, then that goes wrong. If this doesn't work, then that goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then you also have fire extinguishers being shoved up their bodies.
Are they? They're not full-size fire extinguishers, are they?
They are.
They are. They're real
Yeah.
CO2 fire extinguishers.
They're old-timey, filled with CO2. We have to specially get them filled with CO2.
Yeah.
And because that's what Jim used back in the day, but also it gives such a great blast.
It's a beautiful blast.
Yeah, it's like I never knew. I was like, I remember watching that stuff as a kid and be like, is it a fog machine? How are they controlling it? And it's a CO2 fire extinguisher.
Now, I know the CO2 makes things super, super cold, so do they ever come out with a little snow on their face?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Part of the rehearsal we learned was just learning how to put the funnel of the fire extinguisher in the tube at the right place.
Right.
Because what we learned was the first time we did it, it was like, oh, that blasts look great. And then I put the little head in, and all of a sudden he came out, he looked like Santa Claus. and it's not dangerous, but you have to shake it off, and it just, I don't know, maybe it'd be even funnier. I don't know.
I was laughing pretty hard.
I noticed that this seemed to have a little bit of technical trouble during one of the rehearsals. You're just constantly fixing stuff through this whole process.
Yes. In fact, earlier we realized he was missing a button in here.
Oh.
And so I glued a pencil eraser
Yes.
to the top of it. I think a lot of times too, it's just MacGyvering it
Yeah.
and sort of trying to fix it with what you have in as quick good of a time as possible.
And you're just looking for whatever user experience. You're looking for whatever UX gets you to the performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we were talking about it and I was saying like, 'cause the button fell off and it was like, it's so small. And
Right.
of course our amazing crew cleans the stage to the brim. So I was like, well, that's gone forever. So then we were talking, I was like, what could it be? It's like, what if it was like a little pencil eraser? And then she amazingly MacGyvered it in there and got it in and now it works. So I think, and I'd like to think that has always been the Henson way of like, do it simply and do it well and whatever works, you know?
Well, and I mean, in thinking in the long arc of this from the 60s to today, I watched you guys run this twice, and the first time you were getting a lot of stuff sorted, and the second time it hit like music.
Yeah.
It must feel spectacular on stage to nail that. If you feel that rhythm?
It really does. And it's like a silent dance. Yeah. You know, you would think with everything going on below, we'd all be like, move over, blah, blah, but we're not. We're like stage aware and we're silent. And then you get to the end and there's like this energy of like, when it goes well, it's like, oh, like, we feel so accomplished. It's a nice feeling.
Well,
Yeah.
from the audience, I'll tell you that the thing is Jim's humor comes out the second time when you got it. It felt so much like I was seeing just an original script. It felt like I'm going back to the 60s. I'm like
I love
at
that.
a certain time.
I mean, Jerry Joel, who co-starred with Jim in the original piece, that's the other voice there, and wrote it most likely, had such a brilliant way of like communicating the best story with the smallest amount of words. And I think that's just good writing and good character work, and you know who each of these guys are. You know what I mean? Like there's no questioning at all.
And intensely topical, like perfectly written for right now too.
Yeah, when we put it on the cruise ship version of it, when we were first doing it, it was really funny because I was teaching it to the dancers on the cruise ship. They're the ones who do all the puppetry on board.
Yeah.
And they're very like by the number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And learning it, they were having the best time just laughing because they're like, oh my God, we get to be really funny. Like, and they were loving it. So it was like, that was such a good sign of like, this kind of comedy, I think, crosses the generations and it works for anybody.
Does operating these early puppets also give you a little feeling like you're communicating with the past?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I feel like these are my favorite kind of puppets that we do because they're so simple.
Yeah, a lot of the recreation pieces we do are made out of such simple things. We have ones that are just tubes with eyes and sticks on both ends. We have one that's just a hand with a colorful glove on top. And like that, so being able to like sort of do that manipulation with such simple things is very cool.
I geek out too because like when I was a kid dreaming of working for the Jim Henson Company, I was obsessed with like the Henson fleece, like and the right way it's sewn. And so like every now and then I'll be like ready to go on and I'll be looking at it going, oh my God, it's real Henson fleece. I'm getting to play with it and this is what I get paid to do. Like, what's happening? Where am I? But it's true. It's like these materials are so simple, but they're just, I don't know, they're iconic.
And all 4 of these faces are hilarious. Like each time one is revealed to you in its entirety, they're absolutely hilarious. I can't get enough of this guy.
Well, someone was saying too, you can kind of see like some of the early influence. I mean, this is, long before the Muppet Show.
Right.
And, you can almost see like that kind of beakery mouth and, some of the Sesame Street designs, that kind of very simple, like cartoony, just the white ping pong ball eyes with the black pupils. I mean, there's you could see the later influence to what they inspired.
Well, and culturally, we're so inculcated with the Muppets, it's easy to think that the design is simple. But when you see this rack and all of these, you realize that every little subtle change in topography yields whole vistas of new characters.
Yes, and even the inside of them, they're beautifully made because like there's great little hand grips and things that you wouldn't think are inside of here to kind of give us the best performance. So even like when we were fixing the button on my little guy, when it wasn't working, I was able to like grab on like with these fingers on the bar and I had some sort of guarantee. And I was thinking, I was like, I bet that was something that, happened back then too, and that's just what you do.
The thing that you might not know, but it'll be in our video from New York where they were building these, is that they were having just as much fun building these as you guys are.
Oh, I love that.
They were just all beaming, getting to look into these older characters.
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's been a few years of like getting a chance to kind of bring things back from the legacy. And I remember Raleigh Cruson, who built, so many of the original Fraggles, was talking about the joy. It's like revisiting like your old friends, like when you get to like dig back in the archives and go, oh yeah, these patterns and these fabrics and these characters. I I don't know. I think we feel that way playing with them too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that just occurred to me, right? As I've seen puppeteers pick up an unknown character and walk through some voices and gestures and stuff like that. When you pick up some of these older designs, do you feel like they may give you a little bit of an ear towards some of the older puppet characters? Or
I think so. Yeah, because I think you feel, like Jim's earlier work. What I love about it is it's so like, you know who these characters are from the minute they start.
right.
And vocally, it was like, if it was talking like this, it was probably a sweet, innocent character. And if it had this kind of voice, he's probably a bad guy. And if he's like this, he's a nerd. It's like such simple archetypes, but you just, I don't know, it gives you like a little window into that, into the thinking behind it, I think.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Seeing these being built and then seeing them in performance, what a freaking treat.
Do you want to light one up?
Yes.
Do it!
Yeah. You can feel the pencil eraser.
I can feel the pencil eraser. Oh my God. Oh.
So you put your
Hold
fingers
on,
in
I
there.
gotta take off my jacket because my sleeve won't fit.
You're like, this is real work. Take off my jacket. And then, you'll feel the little bar, put your fingers over it. And then there's a little pencil eraser button.
Oh, it's very comfortable.
That's it.
It's a momentary.
Isn't that so simple?
Oh, I can totally see. I can see how you were like grabbing onto the.
Holding over to your life, yeah.
Oh, I wish you could feel the topography. How do you puppeteer topography?
That was good, though. And then, he slips right through. And then
That's the thing is like, that's one guy, that's another.
yeah. And then when he pulls all the way out, then someone just puts a fire extinguisher up there and...
The speed with which you guys do those blasts is actually, watching you do it, I still don't quite know how you do it that
It's
fast.
pure panic. I would love to say there's a skill, but it's just panic. Pull for Jesus, Jesus! Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.